Hello and welcome to Cult Classic Society. Just a little PSA before we start the episode proper. We want to thank everyone who listened to episode 1 and is now listening to this episode. We're aware that the audio quality on both isn't great. Both were recorded as demos with the equipment we had to hand, but we are incredibly pleased with the actual content of the episodes, and as such we've both invested in some new microphones, which I hope you can hear. The audio quality should be much better. We think re-recording the episodes would have been disingenuous to the idea of the podcast. We want to give you first-time reactions and conversation to the topics that we're discussing, and attempting to recreate that would have taken away from the authenticity and the conversation that we had originally. You should hear a marked improvement in the audio quality from episode 3 onwards, which you will hear about at the end of this episode. But until then, I'm going to throw it back over to past Bobby and past Timothy to talk about Slipknot.
Hello and welcome to the second episode of Cult Classic Society. I'm your host for this episode, Timothy Martini, and I'm joined by Bobby Davis. Bobby, how are you doing today?
Really good. I went and saw Sum 41 on Friday.
Right, how was that?
It was banging. Saw them in the summer at Slipknot Festival. The sound wasn't amazing. We were a bit far away. It was a bit dense, so we went to the Alley this time, Alexander Palace. It was incredible. Main support band was Simple Plan. It was a big old pop-punk fest. Had a great time.
You're being brought up music because entry. My recommended rating for you for this episode was Slipknot.
Slipknot, yes.
Yeah, and obviously I recommended you 3 albums to listen to, all from different points of their lives and all their personal stuff that they went through. And obviously I recommended you Iowa, Volume 3, the Subliminal Verses, and Point 5 to Grey Chapter.
What anyone listening can't see is Tim has lined up all 3 albums so I can see them. And as he said that, he was pointing at each one.
I've been a Slipknot fan for almost 15 years of my life now. And the way I discovered them was actually very interesting.
It's going to make a joke then. So 15 years, about, what, a year after you were born?
God, my phone's up. The way I discovered Slipknot was actually through, I should interrupt the first Resident Evil movie. I found the movie and I was the soundtrack, so I picked up the soundtrack from the library because it was on CD. And the first song that was on there was My Plague from Iowa, and I instantly fell in love. So for Christmas that year, my uncle got me Iowa, and I fell in love. So then, obviously, after that, picked up their debut album, picked up on Brief, picked up All Hope Is Gone, and they were on hiatus for reasons that we'll get into once we get to point 5. And I got every single one on CD, and I've seen them live, and yeah, they are my absolute favourite bands of all time. So, first thing we can go straight into is talk about Iowa. What's your experience with Slipknot? Did you listen to any of this stuff before I recommended you any of these, or...?
Yeah, so I do have a few reference points, not many. Pop-punk and ska, hip-hop kind of guy. But System of a Down, big for me. Slipknot, not so much. A lot of my friends... So the punk kids and the metal kids kind of formed one big union at my school, or alternative kids. And a lot of my best friends, big Slipknot fans. I would occasionally throw out the term "shit not," as a little diss. Got an affinity for one track that isn't on any of these 3 albums. GCSE Media had to make a music video. Everyone had to do their own video. All of us who could play an instrument were in each other's videos, because why wouldn't we be? I did a Blink-182 song, because of course I did. But my friend Tom from school, he did Wait and Bleed. Yeah, so my main reference point in terms of any music, and the song that I would say that I know the song, I'm familiar with the song, is just Wait and Bleed. And I like the song. I really like the song. I've heard other Slipknot songs, but I couldn't have told you what they were called. And in the listening to this, I go, oh, I do recognise this. It's that kind of, on the veil back a bit. I used to work in a record store, so I recognise all the covers, but that's it.
Yeah, so it all bled in together for you, so you could go oh, that's clear from this album.
Or from that, even whether it was early or late.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. Wait and Bleed and looking at the album covers is my full Slipknot scope.
So obviously we're not covering the Slipknot Dave title album, which had Wait and Bleed on it, so we can't give your thoughts on all those other songs, which do sound very similar. But we're going to go straight to Iowa, and first off, let's look at your general thoughts.
It's a good album overall, but I didn't rate the production. I don't normally look at production, but I feel like some stuff gets lost in the mix a little bit. It could just be that I'm not trained, my ear isn't trained for this kind of metal. Not to jump too far ahead, but I felt Volume 3, the production was so much clearer.
There's a reason for that and who produces that album.
Okay.
The majority of Slipknot albums they are produced by themselves, and either have like another producer alongside them, and then people mix and master it. But interestingly, not Body is the only one that is produced by someone else.
So, not to spoil too much, but I put this in second of these 3 albums that I liked it.
That's fair enough. I think it's best if we go track by track, just get your general thoughts. Honestly, the intro track 515, that's just screaming, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
But I have an interesting fact about that. Well, they hit me. So that is one band member, Sid. He had just found out his grandfather died, and that's his pure, like, raw screaming, and it's him dreaming like death, and it's being reversed and messed around with. But all that screaming is him just processing that grief.
Wow, it's intense.
It's intense, and it sets the tone for what this album is, because if you're a big Slipknot fan, one thing that you should know, Iowa was made at basically the worst point in their lives. They're all like depressed, going through like the worst shit imaginable, and this was essentially their way of just letting that all out to the world.
Well, speaking of 515, right. I love albums with skits. I love a skit. And it kind of feels like it's detracting from what you just said to call it a skit, but I think a track that isn't a song, when an album's constructed well, is always good. Sum 41's Half Hour Out, or Killer No Filler, starts with a skit. Eminem, all over his albums.
All over, yeah.
Yeah, like, I think they can be really cool for a like construction of a whole album.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think
I would say it's so I do this with their first album. Biggest skit. I'm not gonna say it's just a bunch of numbers. They did it with obviously Iowa, and they do it with What Hope Is Gone, which was their 4th album. So it's not really a trend that they have. It's just something that occasionally likes to do, like to almost set the tone for the album, which I think, just jumping around, I think each album does well. The opening track, be it skit or be it a song, sets the tone beautifully for what you're about to experience.
I think if you're going to do a skit, it has to be in keeping with the whole album.
Yeah.
And in fact, yeah, it can help tie everything together.
Yeah. And I do think with like Sid, you're hearing grief, and I think that is almost like the whole encapsulation of this album. Grief is pain, is everything like that horrible, and you're hearing it just from one person. And now you're right there from 9 people.
Yeah, big old band.
Big old band.
Like a ska band.
So, obviously we have the first official song. Do you want to say the title?
People Equal Shit. Yes. Great change. I was a bit bought in when I saw the title. I've seen that on a t-shirt for sure.
Oh, yeah, it's a big one.
I'm sure I've got this vague memory of someone at school on an own clothes day being told to put on a jumper over a People Equal Shit t-shirt.
I once got in trouble because we had no 2 uniform days at school, and I wore like Slipknot hoodies in there. And like they have a symbol that it's like 9 like star pentagram with these 9 members, people. It was satanic. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, I got named facetious for it.
Not even in Middle America.
Oh, you know.
It proper straight away was like a proper teenage angst-driven piece. It really reminded me of Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah,
the repetition, almost like "fuck you, I won't do what you tell me," but it's people equal shit. Yeah. It's just like I do love. It's probably quite hard to relate to these angsty teenage or early 20s. Really take a first proper look at it when you're in your 30s.
Yeah,
I think it probably doesn't speak to me the way it speaks to you, but the fact that I can relate it to Rage Against the Machine, who I did love as a teenager, I think there's a link there that I kind of appreciated where that angst was coming from.
One of my things about metal and rock in general, you hear this aggression that's something you might feel inside yourself. I would say this album like didn't really appeal to me until I was in my teens, and like you're going for shit and everything, and it's like I'm gonna put on like Slipknot, and it's like you hear people do shit like. Yeah, people do shit. You know, that kind of mentality. And anyone who's got the tune will agree. Especially the central line.
Yeah, that's great. Central line.
Yeah, I think just for like an opening like anthem to get you pumped up. That's like them basically trying to people equal shit repeatedly with the chorus. It gets you like your head bang, like yes, it's fucking great. And it just goes with that. Like it's that perfect like opening like aggression that you need.
Yeah, proper comes at you straight away.
Yeah. So then we have second song, Disaster Piece.
I think this might have been my favourite track, and I think the intro is really System of a Down
with the guitar.
Yes, I think. Yes,
yeah,
and it really the second it started, I was like, this reminds me of System. The System for a metal band are a bit funky.
Yeah,
and I do like when a metal band throws in something like that.
Yeah,
instantly I was like, oh, I like this because it reminds me of System of a Down. And there's a lyric in there. Friends of mine used to say it to each other. You know when you're a teenager and you take the piss out of each other.
Yeah.
If someone got you good, genuinely, and my friend from school, Joe, I don't know if he'll ever listen to this, but if he does, he would quite often tell people he was gonna slit their throat and fuck the open wound or whatever it is.
So you're fucking the room, yeah. And obviously, I think the big thing you're gonna get like when we go through like song by song, it's all about aggression and grief. And like I feel like not to get into it now, not to go too much into it now, but I feel like as the album progresses, it becomes less aggressive. And
Almost like they're working it out.
they're working it out because by the time we get to the title track Iowa, it's like it comes down very hard. I feel like first 5 tracks it's all just heavy like aggression. Like you get people with shit, you get put your phone in the room, you get these like very intense lyrics, and it's just like there's just something so great about it. It's like something disgusting. Like you hear out of context, like what the fuck, but you hear it in this tone and everything. It's like I get where they're coming from in a weird way.
With context, you can, like I said, where friends of mine would use that lyric. I had no idea where it came from. They were all Slipknot fans. I was like, oh, well, they all, you know what it is. I don't know. But maybe it's from a movie. Who knows? But I had no context. And to me, it was like, well, that's really fucking like a violent thing to say to a friend.
Yeah.
And he's only, I think the main reason I pointed out my friend Joe is he was always the wacky one in the group. So when he said something like that, he was always a bit like, oh, he's a weirdo anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
You didn't hear us as a frame of reference.
no, I didn't know where it came from. What I did find, and this is pretty much a theme for all three you asked me to listen to, I couldn't really figure out what the songs were about. Despite the sentences making sense themselves, are nonsensical as an overall storyline. Like, songs didn't always have some story.
Yeah. Because I've always felt with Iowa, it's my second favourite album of Slipknot. It's a very messy album, and I think that's what I love about it, because it's not clean. It's them just getting everything out there in the way that they all know best, which is making music. And so you hear these like very just tense lyrics, they don't make sense narratively, like, because I don't think every song needs to have a narrative, but sometimes they should. And
I think, to me, most music evokes something in my brain.
Yeah.
Whether it's a narrative or whether it's a point of reference or something.
Yeah.
And I found they didn't come easily listening to this album.
I go with that. To me, it's never been like a point of reference or nothing. It's just a feeling. And that feeling is just aggression.
You know, I got the aggression.
If you don't get aggression, like, you won't get it. Okay, but then I'll move on to My Plague, which was the song that got me to Slipknot. But it wasn't this version.
No, they're more than one.
So it only got released to Slipknot on the 10th anniversary edition of Iowa. The version I heard was called the New Abuse Mix, which was a cleaner version of it.
Okay.
So there was less swearing.
Less fun.
In the first verse, there's a bit where like it's like weird interval, like before it gets to the chorus. That's not in it. And the final bit where it goes, "Kill me, fuck you, I'll never be you," that's not in it too.
Okay.
So it goes from solo straight to chorus. So the first time I heard this version of My Plague, I was very just like it. It's also
my version.
The New Abuse Mix as well is cleaner.
Okay. It is.
It's much cleaner.
Mix is cleaner.
The mix cleaner. I think they redid the vocals for it too.
Okay.
Because their vocals sound less shouty, less aggressive. It's more, you can understand everything.
Okay.
But
This is the album of the three that I had most trouble deciphering what Corey Taylor was saying.
Yeah. But I will also say I grew to love the original version more. Because again, it's that aggression that I like. I think I did about this album developed more to me in my teenagers. I was spoke about teenage angst.
Yeah.
And it just became an album I listened to more. But what's your thoughts on My Plague?
I've got a couple of notes on the track. One, there's a drum fill that sounds like drum and bass.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, getting that in the metal. The other note I had was another kind of just good lyric. Already kind of two proper songs in, appreciating Corey's kind of wordplay. Well, not wordplay, it's not even wordplay, it's just he's clever with his word.
Yeah.
So the lyric is, "Your impossible ego fuck you is like a megalomaniacal tab on my tongue." Also, just love the way he delivers it as well. Like, I don't know how he got that many syllables in it, to be honest.
Honestly, when it comes to singing, like, he's one of the best.
I heard him on rap the way he was getting those.
Because we won't mention it because it doesn't happen in any other of these albums. But the first album wasn't heavy metal. It was very rap inspired. They spoke really fast. Like another song or example that is Spit It Out, where in that it borders on rap. Like how they really sings it, it's insane.
Probably no surprise, I don't think I've heard it.
Yeah. And then we have Everything Ends, which I think opens with the funny it's lyric is Mrs. You're wrong, fucked and overrated, then you'll be sick and it's your fault.
I thought, so this is the thing, I've written it down, I like the lyric, but I got it wrong. I thought it was just, you are all fucked and overrated.
Yeah, I got it wrong.
Maybe though, I mean, you're the fan man, but that's what I heard. It makes sense to me.
Yeah. Because I always thought it was like targeted to one person, so you're wrong, fucked and overrated. But I have heard it both ways. But
Yeah.
I've always took it as my way just because it's targeted to one person.
Yeah, I mean, until an artist could sometimes confirm, because there's been Blink-182, for example, have had lyrics wrong in their books.
Yeah.
And the classic from What's My Aging and the I Walk Alone or I Walk Alone.
Yeah.
Like, they sound exactly the same.
And it's like if you like go into like Genius or whatever, like that can be edited by people.
Yeah.
So like, I hear it this way, so I'm gonna put
You can highlight the pattern of the speech to go a certain way. Yeah. Apart from that, I think that's the only thing I had. I had that lyric highlight. I was like, that reminds me of being a teenager in the early 2000s. I don't know whether you'd say it either inspired it or voluntarily from it, but there's an emo element to it.
Oh no, definitely. When like I was going for my teenage angst, I was like, that's one of the songs I had to repeat the most.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, fuck everyone, fuck people, like not people equal shit. Then was like, oh, I have issues with people. That encapsulates it the most, especially the whole like this is the end of everything, you are the end of everything. Yeah, like, fuck you, like kind of mentality, like to one particular person.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, so this is a good thing about music and anything else we discuss, music, TV, films. You can take things in a certain way. Even in our first episode, me and you took a certain small storyline to mean a different thing.
Yeah,
and again, our age difference is probably a factor in that as well,
Yeah.
and the way we see things.
Also, I think the times that we listen to these albums as well, like obviously you're not your teenage angst.
Ooh. I'm in my 30s and married.
Yeah, so yeah, this album wouldn't appeal to you, but when I listened to it multiple times, developing my teenage angst, then the next song, this is the one that probably made everyone think I was a Satanist.
I'm just realising why you stood the album the way you did. The track listing's facing. I'll definitely leave it that in.
So the song that made everyone think I was a Satanist was likely the Heretic Anthem.
Yes. Another one that I definitely saw on hoodies.
Yeah, it could 555
That was definitely on a hoodie, right?
Yeah, that was definitely on hoodies.
Yeah.
That was the one that made everyone feel Satanist.
What do you think of that song? I like the song. This is one of the ones. So this is the first one on this album so far where I've heard this before.
Yeah,
I didn't know it. I didn't know what it was called. So I was listening to it on Spotify.
Yeah.
While I was working, actually, I was listening, and my brain did that thing where it's like, oh, I know this before the chorus, but like something's coming and it's familiar, but I don't know why. And then the chorus gets, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember the boys putting this on when they got their choice of music when I wasn't allowed to put Blink on.
Oh god. Honestly, this song is fantastic. I don't think it's a case of them going like, yeah, we're saying this whatever. I think it's a case of being like, if this is your establishment, we're anti-establishment in that sense.
Yeah, that's kind of how I took it actually as well.
Yeah.
Like coming out it was like I said, the big Rage Against the Machine vibes so far from the whole album. And Rage are kind of little earlier on the 94 or so. And I'm a big lefty. So in that kind of overarching response, it did to me feel like a bit like anti-establishment.
Yeah.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how I would take it, especially like from the heretics I've been against. Because obviously America is a very big like Christian country, very controlled by that. So I think that's also what they kind of like with heretics, not just to religion, also to government as a whole, which is what I love about it. Obviously though, when your last lyrics that going 666 and you're in a school with a bunch of people who are like religious, yeah, it's gonna send the wrong message.
I went to a not very religious day school, so all the boys who did wear their Slipknot, even during the winter, you put on a hoodie over your blazer, and I think everyone we were just the weird kids anyway, so
yeah,
I never pointed at us or anything.
No, and yeah, it's a weird thing like how you go to like different places, like you think, oh, like no one can get this for that. Like, rock, metal, like whatever. It's always seen as like the other.
Yeah, I think I was always lucky being the pop punk kid that if I was wearing a Blink-182 t-shirt, most kids go, oh, I like one of their songs. Like, yes, you like I Miss You, I know you do.
Virtually no one likes. No one likes them.
I think I got taken the piss out of more for wearing wrestling t-shirts at school. Well, Hardy Boys t-shirt got a lot of jib.
See, I didn't get much shit for wrestling t-shirts because wrestling was still deemed cool.
It was actually there when I was in school. People still took the piss.
Oh, this was like PG era. I had like the CM Punk Lisa Baker t-shirt. Oh, nice. That was good. It was middle. Doesn't pay anymore, unfortunately. And the next song, Gently, which I like. I love its very soft opening.
See, I only had one criticism. The drop takes too long to come.
I like.
It's only the last third.
I like it as atmospheric. Like it's a nice departure because it's the midpoint of the album, and I see it as a mini Iowa, as in the song.
Oh yeah.
In the sense that like you're having this like gentle build up, and it's like all atmospheric, and then you get the drop, and it's like, okay, now we're going back to the heavy stuff. So it almost works in a weird way as a skit blended into a song.
Yeah, I see. I did see what they were kind of aiming for.
Yeah.
But I didn't know the song at all.
Yeah.
And my brain was going, here it comes.
Yeah.
Damn it, no. Just like waiting.
No, I can understand that issue. To me, I've heard them all the time. It's grown on me in that sense, and seeing it like live as well. It's one something on live when I've seen them live. It's fantastic. Like again, it's that midpoint of like the gig. It's like, okay, we're gonna stop our set filming and do this, blah 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 blah. Now let's get back into the heavy stuff.
Bring it back down.
Yeah. The Slipknot comes are wild. I can imagine. Yeah.
I think the only close kind of thing was Wild Game with it, Rancid. That got pretty hectic. I imagine that Slipknot.
I saw them at Annie Panny, and they mentioned like when it came out, like I'll tell you something it came out to, because it'll be like one of the next song. It's in one because the whole gig basically turned into a mosh pit.
Yeah, and Rancid, that was really so heavy. They ended on it.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Okay, then not much to say about Germany. We'll move on to Left Behind, which is probably my second favorite song on the album.
I think mine too, actually. And the reason I like it is because that intro, banging. That can be the wrestling fan. That could be an entrance thing.
Yeah,
that is like
that was my best for such a long time. Because obviously I love the chorus. It blends Corey's soulful voice with his heavy stuff. When he goes with that, and I close my eyes, and then hear that also slipping away with the heaviness. So good.
I've always known. Like, I know who Corey Taylor is. I know he's also in Stone Sour.
Yes, and he has his own solo album as well.
Oh, does it? I think
yeah, that came out in 2020.
So I know he can sing, but it was surprising. I think this is the first one. Well, maybe gently as well, but this point in the album is when he starts to break out the melodic killer vocals rather than just bursting. What chords?
Although I'd argue with gently, there's a lot of like effects put on it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So you kind of like the track, but this is when you hear it at its like purest, and I love it. I have no complaint. I'd even recommend watching this video for it because it's a really great music video. Then we have The Shape, which I like the song, but my issue is I never remember it.
I've only got one note on it, and I'm trying to even remember. I can't remember the exact lyrics. It reminds me of Guilty Conscience by Eminem because he's having an argument with himself.
Yeah.
Well, he sounds like he is. And obviously in Eminem, in Guilty Conscience and Eminem,
it's Eminem and Dre, yeah.
Yeah, and it's devil on the shoulder kind of thing. Not quite in the same, it's not framed the same way, but it does sound like he's arguing with himself.
Yeah.
And it really, that's the first thing I thought when I heard that back and forth between Corey and Corey.
Yeah, I actually don't have much to say about the song because I never remember it. It's one of those songs that like, it'll play and I go, oh, it's The Shape. But then it'll be immediately out of the back of my mind straight after. I would say it's my least favorite song of the album.
Nearly every album in the world has something that is an album track for a reason.
Yes.
I don't remember disliking it though. I remember maybe I liked it because I compared it to Eminem in my head.
Yeah.
And then I like the concept.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that is the concept, I might be reading it wrong. But
no, well, it's all about interpretation as well. I think that's a great thing about music. Then we have I Am Hated, which I think is the most email song on the album.
I wrote that this is the one that reminded me most of Raging Against the Machine.
Yeah.
Because of the riffage. It was a bit Tom Morello-y.
Yeah.
Not as many effects as Tom likes to use, but the kind of, it just sounded like it to me.
Yeah. Could you tell what was being said? And sort of the balance of the effects heavy, like melodic vocals, on top of them him screaming over himself.
I think so. I've got a note, but I think it's for the next song. The next song's Skin Ticket, right?
Yeah. Yeah, right, it's for the next song.
Well, no, my only main note is that the riff is killer. It reminds me of Raging Against the Machine, and the end riff sounds a lot like the beginning of Left Behind. It feels like that was supposed to be before Left Behind, and it was rolling into that.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Like, yeah, because it's so similar. My only complaint with this song is in the chorus when he then goes, "I am hated, you are hated, we are hated." It felt so on the nose for a Slipknot song because I always feel like they're very good at being. They're good at like subtext, making more subtext for their songs rather than without saying this is what it is. But as you're also, it's Skin Ticket. What's your note? Skin Ticket.
First note is, what does Skin Ticket mean?
Honestly, I can never.
I do like the "Come See My Cage Built in My Grave."
Yeah.
I don't know why. It might be because, again, time of recording giveaway, or the new episode's on tonight. Remind me of something like overarching story thing that would happen in Doctor Who where that kept getting repeated.
Yeah.
It is almost like something from a drama
Like I say, like again, there's a wonderful good use of like Kroll's melodic vocals when like he does come to my cage, like he will a lot of emotion into that line. Like, makes sound almost like scared, terrified, and then of course he goes back into heaviness, and it's like right because it's not like down gently, but it's building up Iowa. Yeah, like it's getting you ready for what you're going to listen to. Yeah, abortion.
That is the name of the next song. Yeah. Sometimes I'm just like, what are you going on? This is the point where I wrote a note. Towards the end of the album, it strikes me how little variation there is in melody, apart from the couple that I've pointed out.
Yeah.
It's very bang, 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 go, go,
Yeah.
go, go, go. And the reason that stuff like Left Behind and I've Hated and stuff that have very melodic riffs really jumped out straight away listening to them. But this is the point where I think it really struck me in that album because I think it's the song. We've had a couple of tracks now where it's felt a bit different.
Yeah.
It feels like it jumps back again.
Yeah, I almost wonder like the order they recorded these songs in. A lot of things like songs that sound similar, but they recorded all at the same time, and then they recorded the newer stuff.
I do wonder if there's a bit of first album syndrome where some of these are reworks of stuff they'd maybe done before and not recorded, and they're actually from an earlier point in their career.
I don't think so. It's so again like the big thing about songs like the style. It's mental the entire album, but the style changes from every album. It's too much of a departure from the first album to really say that. I just do think it's a case of trying to think it's the one and riffs. Oh, we've done lots of riffs. Let's space them out by throwing in the other songs.
And to this point, I've enjoyed the album despite that as an issue. If I were to listen to Slipknot on the reg, I'd probably pick a handful of these songs rather than listen to the album.
Yeah.
But this is the point where on Spotify, it looks like Iowa's the last track before it goes into like a bunch of live stuff, right?
Yeah, because that's what it's about.
Yeah, I didn't listen to anything.
Oh, no. I didn't expect you to.
So Iowa,
He actually skips over a song.
oh,
So, Mr. Barrett.
I already written a note for it. So
Yeah.
maybe it just blended in when I was like,
Yeah.
doing other stuff.
Blends into new abortion too
Okay.
well. So, it's the same issue already. Stayed. So, okay.
Title track, Iowa, my least favourite song.
Really?
It's really self-indulgent. It's like freestyle jazz, but with metal.
I love it. I think it's the perfect crescendo to the album.
It's like 10 minutes long.
15.
Jesus. And it repeats itself a lot, despite sounding almost freestyle. I think I really enjoyed the rest of the album. And I was just like, I got half my fingers went, this is self-indulgent wank.
I loved it. I can never lie that song. I love it.
That's fair. Like,
It's self-indulgent, but it's the perfect calm down. It's like you do a workout, you have to do a cool down afterwards.
yeah.
That's what it is to me. And it's like, we're going to send you home depressed. Like you've had all this aggression that you need to calm down, but we're still going to keep that sense of grief, agony in there, but more mindful sense.
Yeah, maybe there is an element. I don't know how they wrote it. Maybe they did. There was an element of freestyle jamming. Obviously, all of the musicians are top end of what they do.
Yeah.
And if you're top end of what you do musically, you can freestyle.
Yeah.
I do wonder if there was an element in the writing of that, because it does sound disjointed in a way that works. But that's also, to me, I like jazz. I don't like freestyle jazz. I think it's really self-indulgent to go, I can make up music that everyone's going to like. And I think when jazz is done well, it's some of the best music ever. And I think, to me, it sounds too freestyle to me. And
I get what you mean. Before we went to volume 3, do you want to go for thoughts again? Just to have everything that they've gone through it all?
Yeah. I've got a couple of little bits that I did say. And I think I see why they got so popular in the late 90s and early 2000s. Because there was that lull after Rage Against the Machine kind of went on their hiatus in 2000, I think it was.
Yeah.
And there's a need, especially at Ireland, especially amongst alternative kids, to have something gangsty. And we're still, a couple of years away from emo really kicking off. And I think it's the right amount of angst. It's not woe is me, it's fuck you. And I see why they were so popular. This is the thing, like, I've always been very happy-go-lucky. Even as a teenager, I wasn't miserable. We saw Simple Plan support Sum 41, and I said to my friends and my wife, I was like, the reason they were never my pop punk band is because they're miserable. The music's quite happy, but the lyrics are depressing.
Yeah.
Whereas Sum 41 and Blink, there's an element of fun, but there's also an element of fuck you.
Yeah.
Not too much. There's a little bit, obviously. I think any alternative band has a little bit of like a minor bit of woe is me. There's a little bit of it, but not a lot of everyone's against me, fuck this.
Yeah.
Like, the system's fucked up, fuck you.
Yeah.
The only other note I had was the song I Am Hated. I don't know why I've written this at the end, but I think I went back and listened to it because there was a couple I was like, I like that one, I'm going to go back and listen to it. Really reminds me of kind of early 2000s. You had the band Trapped
Yeah.
and early Zebrahead.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about it. I was just like, this is really reminding me of them. And I don't know why. I think they're obviously older than both of those bands, but
I think it's also that's sort of sticks out the most. It's just like it's the weirdest one. So let's say to put it like the use of like the compressed like vocals, the effects on it, and then obviously the screaming on top of that. Like it's a weird blend. It's like they're going back to their new metal roots in that one song.
I think that's it. They trapped the very new metal that Zebra had, especially in the early days, were half pop punky, half new metal-y.
Yeah,
a bit heavier than they are now. They went on to be just total pop punk.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to move on to 1 and 3. So I guess obviously one thing I told you about the other producer is Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin,
yeah.
He's a good producer.
Yeah, he's a great producer. Corey Taylor did not get along with him.
Oh, well.
Because
I'll get along with everyone.
No, because obviously I will tell you, Rick Rubin knows how to get particular sounds. Which is very like heavy stuff. But I feel like when you already have a band that's produced like the first 2 albums, if someone's basically coming in and telling you what to do and how to produce your first one. But I guess we're going to go straight into it. What do you think of the style of this album?
Well, immediately, so I've written Prelude, immediately different.
Yeah.
It's melodic, it's way less thumping.
Yeah.
The vocals I can hear a lot more. The guitar I can hear a lot more. Everything sounds cleaner.
Yeah.
But still dirty enough for Slipknot.
Yeah.
And I think, sorry, Corey, it's the best produced album, sorry.
What did you think of Corey's screams in this? Because obviously it's a much higher scream.
I think it was quite nicely counterbalanced with the melody. I don't know if that's in him having really thought about the levels he's going to hit, or whether it's part of Rick Rubin's production bringing him in. I don't know. The main thing I noticed is how well it counterbalanced with his actual singing.
Yeah. Rather than screaming. Do you know why he's this time?
No idea.
He was drinking a boiled shot cans a day. You got to be fair. Yeah. This is what he has admitted that he would say this is probably him at his unhealthiest. He would say he essentially relapsed while making this album. Everyone else was doing better. He wasn't. That was his voice like struggling.
It's weird. I think of the 3, the vocal performance on this one.
That's the thing. Once again, it's my favorite album. Obviously, we talked about the melodic vocals in Prelude 3.1. My favorite thing about it, because I listened to this album like this week, is how it immediately goes straight into Blister Exists. The second song.
Where, it's very nicely mixed.
Yeah.
You ever had a song where it does that and you go, oh, my brain, and then if you listen to one of them singularly, it's the rest.
Yeah.
It does feel like it's going to be one of those.
I can listen to Blister Exists by itself, but it always makes my jaw drop when it does that, because I'm like, oh, that's so good.
My main note on it is that I really liked Joey's the military / marching band style thing. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
And then second track in, it sounds like a high school marching band for a second. Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, he's going with something completely different here. I don't know if there was any meaning behind him doing that, or he just thought it sounded cool.
I think a lot of times, like, it's how does it go with the lyrics and to the actual melody. And I think, it's good in that like breakdown of the second chorus, like some like we go to the I am the damaged one, all life and damage done. I think it's a nice breakup for it, because of course it goes back into the whole standard riff and drum riff he was having like in the chorus, and the intro to the chorus was keeping them down to feel it. Like I feel like that is like everything in this album is like peak Slipknot to me.
Yeah.
The vocals, even though it's Corey's at his worst, the drumming, the guitar riffs, everything.
Is this where I don't know if you had it in your teenage years? I know having Blink-182 having come split up for most of your teenage years. We at school would always just say, who is better, Joey Johnson or Travis Barker? And through Iowa, I never was like, Travis's variation in style gives him an edge.
Yeah.
Travis will throw some like Latin and hip hop beats into a punk song.
Yeah.
And Joey was just going for it.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, I'm like, this is where Joey changes things up a bit more.
See, I can. I was having a debate the other day doing one really listen to something raw and then listen to I think you saw that score was cool. Okay, I'll listen. Honestly, because Travis Barker is still working. Joey, unfortunately, is not passed away. Travis's style evolved into every genre.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about Travis. This is the album that sold me on Joey. Like same you like this is where you go, I understand the debate. This is the album that makes me understand the debate.
Yeah.
However, it will always be Travis.
I think the reason I never even questioned it as a kid, as a teenager, was always like Travis for me.
Yeah.
Because I think the songs like, of the 3, the ones I knew by I think Point 5 came out when I was right through school.
Yeah.
But the other 2, I think my friends played more songs from Iowa.
Yeah.
And it's just that drilling heavy metal drumming.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's great because he's great at it, but without a change of style, Travis is always going to take the edge.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. But he obviously, this is where Joey showed, I can vary up the style.
Yeah. So this exists, so we cover that, and then it goes straight into 3-0, obviously the third song on the album.
But check it out. Immediately I went,
oh, I know something about Corey Taylor. I know he's a bit of an Anglophile.
Yeah.
I know he likes the UK.
Yeah.
And 3-0 is something an American would never say.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a very British term.
Yeah.
They would say 3-0 or 3-0.
Yeah.
But I was like, when I saw the track, I was like, no, I know he's an Anglophile. They'll come up later why I know that.
Yeah.
I don't know, like that jumped out to me straight away. And I see the rest of the band, like, what the fuck was that?
Oh, most likely.
Is it this song where it's This Is Not My Fight?
Yeah, this is not my war, this is not my fight.
Yes.
Tell me more. Yeah.
So, off the bat, less angsty.
Yeah.
It's less fuck you because you're fucking me. It's more like, no, fuck you because you're doing wrong. I don't know if this came out around the same time as, say, maybe the Iraq War, where there was like protests over it, saying this is not my war.
2004, so it'll be around that time.
Yeah.
When it's fully kicked off. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that's a theme that will come up more in one of the later songs, also Maggots, but we'll discuss that further once we get to it.
Is there the line, I'm sick of being the butt of a cosmic joke and I don't get the punchline? Is that
No, yeah.
Yeah, I wrote that down. That line specifically, I was like, that's a good line.
It's a great line. Then we have Duality, which is, I would say, one of the biggest singles of the album.
This is the one of this album I definitely knew. I'd like the start, I pushed the fingers into my eyes. I was like, I know what this is.
Yeah.
I've heard this a million times. I didn't know it was called Duality. I didn't know what album it was on, but I've heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're both on it.
I can see why they chose it as a single. It's such a strong song. The jump between the slow bits and the fast bits are really spot on. Yeah, I think there's a really good reason that a handful of people who weren't into metal, this was on their playlist.
Yeah.
This one song.
Yeah.
This is it. This is the song. It's just a great song.
Oh, it's fantastic. I have like no notes on it because it's one of those ones that you listen to it, you understand why this was like the ones that hit the mainstream.
I feel like it's me and all the small things Slipknot fans probably feel about this song. It's like, I'm sick of that song because everyone likes it.
Yeah, it's one because it's the one that gets played on repeat.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I can say. It's the one that gets played the most. It's probably the one that like you can see on most like even like now Spotify playlists.
Yeah.
Like it will be playing the ultimate metal.
Yeah, I'm sure if you probably in Spotify, that's probably their top song.
I think so. That or one that up songs from All Hope Is Gone social. That's like that track by Working of the People.
I wrote, it has some real skate punk vibes. The guitar and the drums. I was like, this sounds like a skate punk song.
Yeah.
It really reminded me of like when no effects really go into their thing, or Against Me or someone like that. Like, this isn't as metal as it could be. And also, I think the breakdown really reminds me, and it was the other way around, obviously. It really reminds me of late Blur. So the Magic Whip album.
Yeah.
It's a bit synthy and a bit out there. And then the breakdown of this, I don't know why, just triggered an emotional response for it. That reminds me of late Blur. But the skate punk listener, I was like, I wasn't prepared for that. Wow, being a skate punk fan. Oh, okay, here we go.
No, I think it's just a fantastic song in general. But I just want to process that one because it's Circle. I love that song. That is a very soft song. It has a nice like synthy like reverb on calling circles, and it's something that Slipknot does quite a lot. In that they'll do like heavy, and then bang the middle of the album, slow it down. And I think this is one song that like it doesn't stick out in that sense. Because you already had it with Prelude 3.0. You already like, okay, this is what can happen in the album.
Yeah, I see exactly where you're coming from. But like, whether they intentionally want to put block in the fast stuff, or the heavy stuff, or whether they just go, we're going to show you what else we can do right now before we come back to it. I don't know whether it's an intentional slow tempo or an intentional slow style, or whether it's all plan. I don't know.
So next up, Welcome.
This is a weird one for me. I've got a real soft spot for songs that use clips from old movies or TV.
Yeah.
Love it. One of my favourite bands, Public Service Broadcasting.
Yeah.
They don't sing. They only use clips from.
That's incredible.
I love it. And again, bring it back, Sonic Boom 6. They've got a lot of stuff from one of their albums in particular, stuff from old movies.
Yeah.
Old horror movies. Actually, you're probably going to love that if I get you on that. I just think if you can make it work and it sounds right, it's mixed well,
Yeah.
it adds another layer of almost story or something to the songs.
Yeah. I feel like that was a Rick Rubin choice because they didn't really go in my band the first two albums. So I just felt like it was a Rick Rubin choice. Sorry, Corey.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's really great.
Yeah.
It's a cool little thing. It only happens once in the album.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And then we have Funny, which is my favourite song on the album. It's probably one of my favourite Slipknot songs of all time.
So I played my notes. Love the chorus. Do not like the almost beat poemy verses.
Really?
Yeah. I kind of disjointed from the rest of the album.
See, I love it in the sense that it starts up very like the guy might be the narrator, Corey, however you want to see it. He's being very just like stoned, like he's in control. But then he breaks down more and more and more as the song goes on.
I don't know why it did sit with me. It really jarred when I was listening to it.
I'd also recommend watching the video for it because it's done in stop motion style
Okay,
and it's incredible.
I'll have to have a look. Yeah, sure.
It's my favorite song, like, from this album. It's beautiful. It's just so well done to me. Like, I just love it.
I don't know why. It just the second he started, like I said, it sounds like a beat poem, and it immediately jarred with the rest of the album. In comparison, when I say Welcome, there's a clip from it. I think it's an old TV show,
Yeah.
and that didn't jar.
Yeah.
Like, actually, I think it flowed better than this flows.
It's perfection to me. And that goes into Positive Maggots.
This one is the most musically like Iowa. That's my main note on it. And I also said there's a bit more drum and bass.
Yeah.
Which, I enjoyed.
That's to say about this thing about earlier, it's now like a, oh, you fucked us over kind of thing that, and like, so you're fucking someone, fuck you, like, win our station in revolution. That's why we're the Positive Maggots, because Maggots is the Slipknot fan base.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's why it's the Positive Maggots, like, we're rising up together.
That makes sense.
And obviously, I think that goes along with also the intro of the song, which sounds like a radio broadcast.
Yeah,
That everyone, like a radio speech, like hijacking like a TV, that kind of thing.
it was almost quite nice to have that throwing back to Iowa halfway through this album.
Yeah.
Because it does, like, if you threw that song in the middle of Iowa, despite, apart from the better production, you wouldn't spot it out. You'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
cool, it's another part of this. Yeah.
I definitely think like it's almost good to go like, oh, because like in a weird way it works to be like Iron Maiden is I think one me of so like the title album, then you have that to remind you of Iowa, and kind of like, wow, we're still that same band.
It's there, yeah, the lineage is still there.
Then we have Before I Forget.
Which is another one where I recognise the chorus.
Yeah.
I'm the I'm a worm before I'm a man, I'm a creature before I understand. Another one I think my friend would throw on regularly.
Yeah, this was another one of the big singles that they released, and there's a reason for that, and it's so catchy, it gets stuck in the
I
brain.
think this is my favourite song in the album.
I don't blame you, honestly,
Yeah.
for a long time it was mine as well.
Yeah, I think just aggressive in the right way. A bit philosophical in the vocals. I quite like it.
Yeah.
In the lyrics, sorry, not the vocals. I really liked it.
So I feel like, you know, the song ends and it has that weird, like, repeating bit that sounds like the outro counts down to a weird echoey bit at the end that kind of ties into.
yeah.
So that is from Vermilion. They recorded in a haunted mansion, and basically there's a track, there's a bit, the clip from Vermilion that just kept playing on repeat. The thing is, no one figured knows how it happened. Because it only happened with that one bit. So like, fuck it, we're going to put it up on that and use it to lead into Vermilion Part 2.
Oh, fair enough.
And speaking of Vermilion Part 2, what do you think of that one?
I think I preferred it to the part one. I think this, to me, for this album, really showed what they can do with a slow song.
Yeah.
This is the best of these two out, all three albums. This is my favourite slow Slipknot song. Corey's vocal range is amazing, even despite drinking all that.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic song. I think it's clever to have like two songs in between Vermilion and Vermilion Part 2, because it gives you that break from that, and then like it's a continuation of the story, but as like your interpretation of the story is. I definitely preferred it to the first one.
It used to be the same.
Part 1, like I was kept looking to like it's wrong. Then we have the Nameless.
The thing I said about it was I really like the layered vocals.
Yeah.
It's really well structured. So I don't know if Corey does them all himself. It's all him. But it seems like there's about 4 or 5 layers.
I know sometimes the band will like harmonize or whatever. Yeah, I think for this it was a lot more.
Yeah. It just shows how fantastic he is. Like, even in that state, he just smashes it out the park.
Yeah.
You had to record it, go back in the booth, have it played back in his ear,
Yeah.
harmonise with himself,
Yeah.
which is hard. I know people who have done it and are good singers and have struggled their first time.
Exactly. Like it's just so good. Like, demonstrates this like talent.
Yeah, really cool.
I can say that I wasn't the biggest fan of the chorus.
You'd have to remind me.
No, don't go deep. I never why don't love anybody else. No, why anybody else and I wanted you. Everything I ever loved was hurting you. I just didn't like that. Like not
It sounds like it's whatever it is about is very personal to him.
yeah, no, absolutely. But I don't know, so it's in terms of flow, I feel like it disrupts the song.
Yeah, but I would put this near the top of mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Then we have The Virus of Life, which I love.
So this is the one where I was like, Slipknot, I swear they're known to be using shit like oil drums. And I could actually hear it in this song. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there we go. There's shit. Because everyone got a guy who just plays that clown. And I'm sure this is the only track where I've really heard them. I'm sure they're there.
Yeah, he's like put under that drum tech, so he was like, if it ever sounds like there's like two drummers at the same time, it's because he's doing the other stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a few notes on this. I don't really love why the radio effect on his vocals doesn't stop. I get that. It's a cool effect, but then drop it for the choruses, have it through the verses, and then it burst out of the chorus.
Yeah.
And I was expecting it to happen at some point. It doesn't. All that is on.
My worry is that if they did that, it would have been too disruptive because like it's all this also clean vocals on top of it, all a different effect on it. It can stick out too much.
Maybe. I mean, you wouldn't know without hearing it. We were never going to hear it.
We're having our own interpretations here.
The other thing I said was, and this is only any wrestling fans, Bray Wyatt could use this as an entrance thing.
Oh, absolutely.
It proper hits that kind of that feeling that I think they go for with him.
No, absolutely. The first one on the album,
Danger. Aside from Dominion Part 2, I think a lot of their slow songs sound similar, and this is the song that made me think that. Yeah. Like, this sounds like two of the others, at least.
It sounds a lot like Circle, and it sounds a lot like Pain and Improvement. But in a weird way, I don't mind that because of the gentle.
Yeah, I never really thought of it like that. My brain just went, this sounds too like other things. I don't think, for at least first time, I did listen to this all at once. I listened to about half of it, then I had stuff to do. Then I listened to the second album.
Yeah.
So I listened to everything twice. I listened to one just to listen.
Yeah.
No taking, no nothing.
Yeah.
Second time, I allowed myself to stop it and take notes.
Yeah.
Which is when I stopped halfway through, took some notes and did some stuff. That's how I approached this. But I never got the bookend thing. Maybe that's because I listened to it all at once together one time. But yeah, maybe they're quite long albums as well. They're over an hour each, aren't they? They reached the hour mark. Like about around that. Yeah. So maybe the album was long, like not too long, obviously, because there wasn't a point in even the first two where I was like, what's going on? You know, it's more like maybe they're just too far apart.
Yeah.
That link together.
No, I think so. I can agree, but I've listened to all these albums like multiple times, like over like decades. So
I've got other notes here. Don't Get Close and Scream.
Oh, so those are from the special edition.
Listen to those, and what do you think of those? They sound similar to each other, but I think they pack a punch at the end, as a two song thing. And then there's a million alt licks.
Yes, there's also
two of them put together, right?
No, so that's just a remix of
part one, because I like that one.
And that's their radio mix.
It sounded very different.
Yeah, there's also a Danger Keep Away, the longer version.
Yeah, I saw that because it was the same title. I didn't listen to it again.
It's not even a track, not more like some stuff. It sounds like they have someone else on the vocals. Danger. I don't recommend that one. I prefer the smaller, shorter 3-minute one where Corey just give the certain vocals.
Okay, well, I went. Yeah, I enjoyed the punch that gets packed right at the end. So you slowed down.
Yeah.
With Danger, Keep Away, the short version, and then those two extra tracks.
Yeah,
I was like, finish it on a darker gut punch, essentially. And I like that.
They're good tracks. I haven't listened to those as much because I grew up on just the standard version, so I don't really notes on those. So we're gonna go over the point by Grey Chapter. But of course, two incidents happened before this album came out. Do you know what those are?
I know one. I know, is his name Paul, the bassist?
Paul Gray. Yeah.
Paul Day. He passed away.
Yes. Then months before his album was even into production, depending on who you asked at the time, Joey was either fired or he quit. The story that Joey told is that he got fired because his choreography wasn't.
Okay.
And the way Corey put it, this is all alleged by the way, the way Corey put it is creative differences very left. So they brought in a new bassist, obviously, and a new drummer. They refused to say their names. They never wanted it because during that period, this is our healing album.
Yeah.
They're just here to associate with us.
They're just here to play that instrument that he's playing.
Exactly. Yeah. So
are they not the drummer and bassist who are there now?
They still are, yes.
And are they still unnamed?
They are named, I just forgot them. I think one of them is called Jane Weinberg. I think he's the drummer. And I would argue he
Oh, wow. I had no idea that Joey Jordison left before he passed away.
Yeah.
I knew he passed away last year, but I assumed he didn't see him to the end. I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, it was very up there moment to realize. Yeah, like to use see people like Joey Jordison out Slipknot. It's like, but they're doing a new album. What's going on?
Yeah. I assumed when I heard the new album, I was like, oh, they got a new drummer. I didn't realize the new drummer had been on there for 5-6 years by now.
So the new drummer joined as they were recording the album.
Oh, really?
This was his introduction to Slipknot.
So is there any Joey drums on the album?
None at all.
Okay.
So obviously after All Hope Is Gone, after Paul passed away in 2009, they took a hiatus. back in 2012, just doing touring,
Just playing the best of.
yeah, going to that download festivals. They started Not Fest, which was their big annual festival now. And then in 2014, they released this.
Okay, cool. I didn't. Yeah, I had no idea all that happened. Yeah, I'm gonna preface this. I found this album the hardest to listen to and make notes on. I found it merged together a bit much for me. I would be listening with the hope of pausing and taking notes.
Yeah.
Without realizing the song had changed, and it happened a lot. Some stuff did stand out, but I found this one the hardest to differentiate.
I would say that is my major issue with this album. It's my least favorite Slipknot album. Which is bad to say because obviously this is their hidden album, but I just feel like, yeah, everything blends together too much. Nothing really stands out that much, and I don't remember much of it.
So XIX, which I assume is where we was then for 13, right?
No, we'll be 19, but yeah, it's X is 10.
Oh yeah, X is 10. Sorry. Done. I don't know. I don't know where I really. What I did there is that was super raw and super emotional.
Yes.
When it started, I was like, "Oh, I'm looking forward to the rest of this album because that track is good." Even to the point of hearing a metal singer talking about someone being like an irreplaceable man. I don't think a lot of metal singers, even if their mate had died, would say stuff like that. It's so loving considering how it sounds.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was impressed that they went that route.
No, absolutely. There are quite a few songs in this album that are dedicated to Paul, which I do admit is really sweet because obviously he was a big part of the band.
Yeah.
So I think even like 5 years after his death, you will release an album that's basically saying this is all for you.
Yeah.
I think it's very sweet, and I think as an opening song, barely like any heavy stuff, it's just Corey letting it all out.
So let me just jump to the songs I've got notes on, and then we can discuss kind of the overarching stuff because you're probably going to be more knowledgeable than I am about
Sarcastic.
You can tell they're older straight away.
Yeah.
The sound of the vocals, what they're saying, even the music, it sounds less like everything's more personal.
Yeah.
Whether it's about Paul or whether it's about anything else, it all sounds more personal. The fact that they're opening up a bit makes them sound like they're older. They're not just like "fuck you."
Yeah.
Which I enjoy, but you can hear kind of maturity in it. Another thing I like, the front cover with the kind of person with the skeleton costume would do. On Spotify, that's animated.
Yeah, it's great.
All the slats move and stuff. It's really cool, quite trippy. I pulled my phone out to make some notes, and it was moving. I was like, "Whoa, this is great." AOV,
yeah.
Yeah, that intro is fucking awesome.
Yeah, approaching original violence.
The intro to that, another one on my brain went, "That's a good wrestling thing." I'm just using that somewhere.
I mean, I don't really could because then she goes, "It's the cunt."
Ah, well,
Yeah.
maybe there's a soft version somewhere, a radio edit someone's done. And then Skeptic is obviously just about Paul.
Yeah. Obviously, like with that chorus going, "No, I'll never see no crazy motherfucker like you." Like,
Yeah.
what? That's good.
Yeah, that's the one I felt, which is in between that or 19 or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
They're the two that I was like, these are so raw. They stood out because you could hear the emotion. Aside from that, nothing stood out to me.
I guess we'll continue to go in album order because you did Scar Catastrophe because track 4, which is Devil and I. This is a song that always stands out to me because it's the one that where they finally revealed what the new last was going to be.
Okay.
So, when you watch the video, it's them literally killing their old selves, like in most like gruesome ways possible. Like Corey literally blows himself up, Nick Gordon literally rips his face off. It's intense, and I think to me, because I watched the video, it's that association of them moving on, and I think this album's more mature.
There are points where I felt like I was having to force myself to really listen to go, try to take something in from this.
Yeah,
And the thing I always got was, they just sound older.
yeah.
They sound more life-worn.
I would argue like they have been for a lot, like especially like before even making this album, one of the band members left, inspired whatever song we can go with, and it's I feel like they almost felt defeated in a weird way.
And he's not to shit on the other 7 members. The only 2 I knew their names were Joey and Corey Taylor.
Yeah,
Like, he was probably the second most famous member by name.
yeah.
So you say this is your least favourite Slipknot album. Do you ever dip into it?
I always try to go back into it in the sense of like there has to be something in there that makes it a good listen.
Yeah.
Because I do find myself listening to some songs on occasion, like the next song, Kill Pop. So that's my favourite song of the album, and it's one I if it played, I'll go, "Oh, Kill Pop, let's listen to it." But I will not, like with Iowa, with Volume 3, with any other album, I can put the album on start to finish and listen to every song. And with Point 5, it's only when I'm playing music on shuffle and a song comes on and I remember it, I'll keep playing.
So none of them would make your top 20 Slipknot songs. Kill Pop might just.
Yeah.
Number 18 or so.
Yeah, exactly. Number 19. And then, as we said about Skeptic, very raw song. It's then that and the negative one. I put the heavy song with the album, but this is the most raw.
It's so raw. Like, I don't think I'm trying to think if I know any song, not just by anyone, is that raw and emotional.
Yeah,
I think
honestly, like when I said like in High Pain, I hate the on the nose stuff. With it, you can ignore it because you know why they're being on the nose.
it makes absolute sense.
They are in pain.
They're grieving for their friends.
Yeah, exactly. Let them do it. That's the next song, Beach, which I only remember for the opening lines, which is "I know what Judas meets, motherfucker." That's all I remember from that fucking song. I genuinely, it's his like passion tear. So I never remember it.
Something's got to be bottom, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah. And the song of that Goodbye, which is another song to pull, which is their softer one.
Yeah.
I don't think it hits as hard as Skeptic. I think we already had the big emotional song at the start. We had the big, like, raw, intense one. We didn't need another song. Again, I can't criticize that because they're grieving. But I think if you want to have like a narrative storyline for an album, I don't think we needed another one.
It is hard to take away from their creativity when that's what they're going through.
Yeah, exactly.
As a fan, you also entitled to your opinion.
Then we have Nomadic, which is a song that, all I remember is a song in the breakdown. It's like, when you stand there barefoot with your feet on the Bible, you could ask for a better disciple, which I think is a really cool fucking line.
I don't know what it means, but it does sound cool.
It sounds incredible. And they also have a bit where I don't know if they sample a song or they just have someone else in the vocal, because they literally like sample the line where it goes, "The tough guys who came to kill but saved some rape and ravage." I don't know if that samples from anything. It sounds like it is from a documentary, but it's just so out of nowhere. And it's like, if you're talking about yourselves in the situation, you make yourself seem like really bad people. So I never understood that bit.
I'm trying to even analyze it now. I can't.
Yeah. Like, cause again, I've listened to this album multiple times since it came out like 8 years ago. I've never understood that. Never. It sticks out to me poorly.
Well, now you know how I feel about Iowa.
Yeah.
No idea what's going on.
Then after that, we have the one that kills the least. It's okay. It's like mid-tier Slipknot. The chorus goes, "No one else survives. You see me live, they'll watch me die." Or we get to the rain. It's a chorus. I think the chorus is what I remember the most from it.
Yeah. It's got something that at least you feel like it's bringing something.
Yeah, exactly. And Cluster, which starts with the go. How about this one? Da 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 da.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I love the chorus where it's literally just them going, cut me up, fuck me up. Like, I love
that is a nice catchy little.
Yeah.
That's why you find yourself singing in the shower.
Yeah, I love that. They did that song live. They introed it in that exact same way. Loved it. If all this one's like, okay, lyrics mean nothing in the situation.
Yeah.
You're gonna sit there headbang and have a good time. Track 12, Be Prepared for Hell, it's literally just a skit setting up the negative one, which was their return single. That was the song that they were teasing for months. I love that song. Like, honestly, it's my second favorite song on the album, because it was that moment, like, oh shit, they're back. They come back with a heavy song.
Yeah.
It's great.
So they're all numbered. Is negative one of their numbers?
No, so they start from 0 to 9.
Okay. I knew
0 to 8. 0 to 8.
I knew 0 was 1, so I did wonder if negative 1 was 1.
No. Don't know why it's called negative 1. Honestly, like, as much as I found stuff, I don't like looking to, why did they call it this or that? I don't wonder what I feel and experience while I'm listening to it. That's my mentality when I listen to songs. It's a great song. It was a great return to form. Set me up for disappointment. Oh, the whole album is going to be like this. And it wasn't.
It wasn't that good.
And then I have the final song, which is If Rain Is What You Want, which is one of their like other like atmospheric album songs.
That's another reason maybe I didn't pick it out as what could be a single. I've never heard an album where one of the single tracks is right at the tail end of the album. Normally, the last 3 or 4 tracks are reserved for the kind of you kind of go home.
Yeah,
album
exactly.
tracks.
Well, I think as Negative One came out 3 months way before the album came out. Yeah, then Deborah and I came out literally the month before the album came out, and then album came out, and then they just released up some singles, even though the album was still out. There were 2 bonus tracks, Override and Burden. I don't think you'd listen to those.
No, I did not.
You're not missing on anything with those. Override, it's not a good song.
No.
It's terrible. Burden is decent. But there's a reason they're bonus tracks. I feel like if they were put onto the main album would have suffered more.
I've always felt that with deluxe editions. There's a reason sometimes things aren't included on the main album.
Yeah.
And sometimes a bonus track will smash. Sometimes you just think, you've already done this, so to charge $3 for an extra edition to give us 2 songs that...
Yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing that while I'm staring at my special edition. Like very chat.
Yeah. 2 out of 3 of these special editions, aren't we?
One's a 10th anniversary edition, so the Iowa 10th anniversary edition comes with obviously Iowa. It also has the bonus like View Beast mix of My Play. It then had Disaster Pieces, which was the London Arena show in 2002, but it's a CD version of it. And then it has a DVD which has a mini documentary on there and all the music videos for the entire run up to that point.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good listen. I love listening to them live. It's funny, Kakori singing through the Martin hilarious. Yeah, so those were the 3 albums. Again, how would you rank them?
My favourite was definitely Volume 3. Clean, great songwriting. Despite his clear problems at the time, I think Corey at his best. Multi-layered vocals, harmonies, creative lyrics. Very good, top level. Second, I'd put Iowa. My only issue is he gets a bit samey at points. Still very fun. I can see why people loved it. And if I'm feeling a bit angry, it might be a couple of tracks I'd throw on now. And then, yeah, point 5. I mean, yeah, I didn't love it. I found it quite difficult to listen to start to finish. It was fine. To actually analyse, what am I trying to pull from this? It's like pulling teeth.
Again, I think it's just such a raw emotion album. Like, it's just grieving. You can't really pull much from it. I liken it in... It's a piss of no. I liken it to Saint Anger from Metallica.
Okay.
In the sense, like, that was an album just made to keep the band together.
Yeah, I again, not a big Metallica fan. I know a handful of songs, but I know Saint Anger is
their worst album. But I would liken it to that in the sense that it was an album made to keep the band together.
That makes sense, yeah.
Would you listen to the other 4 albums?
Yeah, not in the intense
Not on the podcast, but...
Yeah, listen to them all three for the 2 weeks over and over again. No, but no, I definitely would. Winter's Coming really seems like a good time to listen to some Slipknot.
You're not about Christmas songs then, yeah.
Yeah, it's just when it's dark and dreary, let's listen to some dark and dreary music.
I mean, Corey did do an anti-Christmas song.
Oh no, I'll have to check that out.
It's great. It's fantastic.
But yeah, no, I definitely would. I would check out some more Slipknot for sure. And I'm sure there's probably more that I know, but I don't know I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you tell me now what Slipknot songs you know, my brain will go, wait, bleed. And I'll be like, I definitely know some choruses, but what they're called. Yeah, I'll probably be looking at their Spotify first and maybe looking at the top played tracks.
Yeah.
Looking at some of them first before I'd listen to a whole other album, but yeah.
That's absolutely fair. So, did you do any extra credit?
I did. And the obvious extra credit thing is I was speaking to some of my friends who were Slipknot fans, telling them about this. Someone said, listen to Corey's son's band. And I said, no.
Bended. They are great.
Someone said, listen to another album. I was like, no, it's not in the spirit. It needs to be something completely different.
Yeah, it's not extra credit.
No. So I went with Corey Taylor appearing on QI.
Nice.
I'm quite a big QI fan. I've been to the recordings a couple of times. And I remember sitting down, watch my QI fix. And they introduced Corey Taylor as one of the guests. I was like, this is weird. Looking into it a bit, it turns out he's a fan of the show.
Yeah.
Being an amplifier, as we mentioned earlier. He wanted to be on it. He wanted to be on QI. He requested to be on QI. I think it was just before the release of Psychosocial, because they talk about the song right at the top of the show.
Oh, okay. It was up like 2008 then.
Oh, maybe it wasn't then. It was definitely because it was Sandy presenting, so it was later.
Oh, so yeah, they might just reference that it's considered to be one of the most popular songs.
Maybe that's why. He didn't even seem to want to talk about Slipknot.
No.
He wanted to play QI. He wanted to be on QI. He kind of, pushes it away a bit in terms of, she asked about Psychosocial. He's just like, some of the things that really stand out to me. I always worry if there's an American I like on something like a British panel show, because the wit and it's different sense of humor.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're quite dry, quite sarcastic. Americans, not so much.
We're just fun,
Yeah. I didn't want to put it that way, but yeah. He doesn't disappoint though. He joins in. He's quite funny, quite personable.
Yeah.
Like, he can laugh at himself, which I found quite good. Also found out that there's an Irish school teacher who had the world record for the loudest shout, which is much louder than Corey's. She got to 120 something decibels. She's like Slipknot top out 109. Yeah, just really fun to see him interact with British people, British comedians. And Ross Noble was on there. He's one of my favourites. I love Ross Noble. Aisling B was the other.
Oh, nice.
Guest, obviously. She's funny. But also the other two, Alan and Sandy Down, are always on it. Just, good fun. He clearly enjoyed doing it. Only other one I can liken it to was when Mark Hoppus was on Never Mind the Buzzcocks.
Oh, wow.
And I was worried, he's going to be American, and they're going to, he's not going to get the humour, and they're not going to get his humour. No, he fitted in as well.
Yeah. I would also say one thing about him about during the time when he was on QI, he also made a guest appearance on Doctor Who.
Did he really? Where is he in Doctor Who?
So,
I'm a big fan. I didn't know this.
So it was in Big Party season. It was a 2-part to go, so like the Flood Monster.
Okay, yeah.
He does the grounds for that monster.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
There's a video of it on Doctor Who's YouTube channel and I think on social media. They tour him around the BC studios and he's like, a massive fan. And like, do you want to do the monster growls for him? And he does it.
Oh, that's brilliant. No, I didn't know that. The reason I knew it was an Anglophile is because I looked up why the hell was he on QI. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So I think, that's what we have time for this podcast. In 2 weeks' time, you're going to be hosting. And what's my big client reading?
Well, this one is very 90s. It's the anarchic sitcom, if you call it sitcom, just comedy, Bottom. Rick Mail, Adrian Edmondson. They write the whole thing themselves. There's only 18 episodes across 3 series. There's 5 live shows. So the recommended reading for Bottom is Series 1, Episode 2, Gas. Series 2, Episode 2, Burglary. And Series 3, Episode 2. So all Episode 2, 3 series. Terror is the one from Series 3. And then on top of that, Bottom Live 1. There's 5 of them. It's the first one. And it's brilliant. What's it? And yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Cult Classic Society, all about Slipknot. You can find us on Instagram at ccsocietypod, or you can email us on ccsocietypod@gmail.com. Catch us next time when we'll be talking about the amazing Rick Mail and Adrian Edmondson in Bottom.